It is Friday, March the 4th. You're watching Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis, and it is hashtag Finally Friday. Good to make it through. This week just seemed like 2 weeks combined in one, because at least for me, it did. But glad to have you here. We got a weekend upon us. A little chilly outside. Going to get warmer and then cooler next week, but that's just winter in Houston. My co-host this morning, Frank on Fridays. Frank Cooper in the house joining me. Good to see you, Frank.
Good morning, boss man. How you doing, man? I need to copyright that Frank on Friday thing, man. That sounds pretty good.
It's a hashtag. It does trend in Twitter when we go live with the show because we promote it as hashtag Frank on Friday. So maybe you could promote that in our social media.
Absolutely, absolutely. Speaking of social media, ladies and gents, we are everywhere. We have Facebook Live, which we're streaming right now, Houston Community College District. We're also on Instagram. We're also on LinkedIn. We're also on Twitter as well, and YouTube.
That's right. So you can find us as Houston Community College District, as Frank mentioned. Thanks for watching us on Facebook and YouTube. You can also catch the rebroadcast of our show at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. on HCCTV. Okay, Frank, stick around. We'll talk a little sports maybe later in the program after we get through with our announcements. But you'll be interviewing this next guest. We've got Karlien Tebbetts, who is the program director of the Medical Laboratory Technician Program at Coleman College of Health Sciences. Good morning to you, Karlien. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing wonderfully.
Thank you for being here. We're looking forward to hearing about the program and all the things you guys have going on out there at Coleman. So stick around. We'll be with you in about 10 minutes. All right. We're going to get to our first guest this morning. It is hashtag Film Friday. As always, on every Friday here. A returning guest, Marian Luntz, joins us. She is the curator of film at the Museum of Fine Arts, Houston. Marian, good morning to you. Good to see you again.
Likewise. Good morning, Todd. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to talk about sports if you want to, in addition to movies.
Oh, good.
Those are two passions of mine.
Yeah, well, you know, we only do that on Fridays because Frank is here. But yeah, he's a sports expert, by the way. He'll be the first to tell you. Let me ask you this. You guys have got some things going on out there at the Museum of Fine Arts Houston, but the main thing I want to talk about first is that brand new theater behind you. I know you aren't showing films in it this month, but it's going to be open to the public in the next month, right?
It is. I'm really thrilled that my background is our beautiful new Lynn Wyatt Theater, which is located in the still new Nancy and Rich Kinder building, the museum's new building that opened a little while ago. We have started showing films in this theater and will continue to, as you mentioned, just not to confuse people. The movies we're talking about today are all in the Brown Auditorium that we hope people know. But the Wyatt is a slightly smaller, more intimate space. The museum will be using it for films, public programs, lectures, musical performances, and it just is a wonderful viewing experience, and named by Lynn Wyatt, who is the incredible Houston-based fashionista, philanthropist, and movie lover. So really proud to have a second space.
Well, let me ask you this. It is award seasons, and we've already had the Golden Globes. They didn't really have a ceremony back in January, but they announced their winners. But the Oscars are coming up, and they always focus on film shorts. And you guys have the 2022 Oscar-nominated film shorts you're showing at the museum.
It's true. We have done this for many years. It is super popular. We have multiple screenings of each program. There are 3 programs, each featuring the 5 nominated short films: animation, live action, and documentary. And if you go to our website, I'll just put it out there for the first time in this conversation, mfah.org/film, you will find the various show times, and we recommend getting the tickets in advance. It's a very unique program because these are films from all over the world. And I will mention this because it's not something people would necessarily think of. These are really for audiences 17 and up, 18 and up. Surprisingly, the animation program has 2 films that are definitely for 18 plus, and all of the hundreds of places around the country offering these on screen are messaging about that. But it's great to be able to see this range of talent of filmmakers. Right. They're creative, they're moving, and you learn a lot from these films. And it's really about seeing them together on the big screen, not finding them here and there on streaming platforms. So we hope people will turn out for the shorts.
So you can catch those at the Museum of Fine Arts Houston, but March is also Women's History Month, and you have a few films celebrating the month as well.
We do. Thanks for asking about that. This is always something that we do. It's very important for everyone to think about the accomplishments of women. And I'm starting with this weekend, if people are available tonight, the 4th, and tomorrow night, the 5th, we have 2 women-directed French films by young filmmakers, first-time filmmakers, and it's part of a series called Young French Cinema. So tonight we have a film set in the sunny Mediterranean called Hard Shell, Soft Shell, that is a romantic coming-of-age story with some very wise female characters and a really rocking soundtrack from the French Arab diaspora, a lot of hip-hop music, great dancing. Now, tomorrow night, there's an actor, Gérard Depardieu, in the film Robust, that many people know. He's a legendary French actor, and he goes head-to-head with a rising young actress named Deborah Lecomiana, and she plays his bodyguard. He plays a has-been or prima donna actor, not quite a has-been, and she has to kind of get him out of his funk, and it's just a remarkable character study. So I recommend Hard Shell, Soft Shell tonight and Robust tomorrow night, women-directed French films. Then on March 18th and 19th, we have a great music documentary, and it's a bit unexpected. It's about a women's band, Fanny, that actually started in the LA area in the 60s, had some success, but not as much success because there was sexism, there was racism, there was homophobia. They faced these kinds of things from the 60s onwards, but they had some movies on the Billboard charts. They had big supporters, including David Bowie, who made kind of an epic statement, you know, that if Fanny gets its due, then my work is done. And they are just trace their whole career. You see them from the 60s onward, you see them today. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it's very empowering. There are so many women musicians, and just generally musicians will be inspired by their story and enjoy learning about their music, and then maybe seek out the music by Fanny.
Yeah, it's if you haven't heard of Fanny, look for them on iTunes. Check them out because I'm familiar with the band and I read about them, a long article on them a couple of years ago. It's a fascinating story, tragic story because they just weren't given their due. They should have been as huge as like Jefferson Airplane, or they should have been playing with the Dead. They were really groundbreaking.
Fanny, the Right to Rock. I think that title is very intentional. And when we were offered the film, I just wanted to give a shout out to reasons why we chose this particular film. I know there's an active music scene, obviously, in Houston. I am friends with the band My Dolls that has met the members of Fanny, and so really happy that they could spread the word among their fellow musicians. And also there is a girls' rock camp in Houston, and because this is such an inspirational movie, it's something where young women who are interested in the music, in making music, might be inspired by the film as well.
Yeah, you brought up a good idea because I know some of the My Dolls as well. We need to get them on the show as well because they're a Houston institution as well. I had a chance to visit your theater I think it was over the summer. I went to go see with my wife Swan Song.
That's right.
When you guys had that in the theater. What an incredible experience. Of course, if you haven't been to the Museum of Fine Arts Houston and their theater there, a lot of times you go, as you know, Marian, you'll have the director out there or someone who worked on the movie to talk before the movie. It's fascinating. So you want to check them out. You also have a loyalty program for reoccurring customers as well, correct?
We do. Just like every place else, we want to reward people by offering discounts if you want to come multiple times. Our Film Buffs program has been going on for a long time. So shout out to any of our Film Buffs members who are watching this today. It is an incredibly good deal. It gives you free and discounted admission to the museum's movies. It gives you discounted parking in our garages and other perks, invitations to sneak previews of new films that are opening. Some of the previews are virtual, some of them are at theaters. And it's just a great way to get looped in with what we are doing as an art house movie program here in Houston. So really appreciate your bringing that up, Todd.
In spring exhibitions at the museum right now, I know one of them just opened, right?
Well, we have a blockbuster spring coming up, and I actually made some notes to make sure that I can tell you the dates. So on view through March 27th is Incomparable Impressionism from the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston. These are many famous paintings by Impressionist artists that you have seen pictures of, probably haven't had a chance to see in person. I highly recommend Incomparable Impressionism, and it is in the Beck Building. You can get details on our website, mfah.org. Now, we have a succession of new exhibitions opening throughout March, starting this Sunday with Dawood Bey. He is a photographer born in New York who has taken photographs over decades of Harlem, of different aspects of just contemporary life in the United States. And he will be here in person. So you could hear Dawood Bey in a conversation with our curator, photography curator, Malcolm Daniel, this Sunday at 3:00 in the Brown Auditorium. And so that's, to your point, a great way to hear from an artist directly.
Right.
Now, we have an incredible blockbuster exhibition of C Escher opening the following week, and that is just the largest exhibition. Everybody knows Escher's work, but to see the largest exhibition of his work ever mounted here in Houston at the Museum of Fine Arts, everyone is thrilled, and that will be on view for a long time through Labor Day. So people will have a chance to experience Escher. There are all kinds of interactive programs planned throughout the run of the Escher exhibition. Wonderful chance to see the work of this artist who is enduringly popular. And go ahead. Oh, I also wanted to mention another exhibition that's opening. We have two more, so I'm just going to go quickly.
Sure.
Shazia Sakander. Shazia is a contemporary artist. She is Pakistani-American. Earlier in her career, she was here as an artist in residence at the Glasshouse School of Art at the museum, and she is very interested in the traditions of miniature painting in Pakistani art and in updating them from a contemporary point of view, and just beautiful, detailed work. It's going to be an intimate installation, and that is also opening in March. And then just leading up to what will truly be an incredible opportunity for Houston, the Obama Portraits Tour. Yeah. So again, everyone has seen the two very famous portraits by two different artists of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama that they commissioned, as presidents do. And these have been traveling to museums and centers around the country, and they will be installed in our Cullinan Hall for several months. And there will be related programming speaking to the interests of Mr. and Mrs. Obama, President and Mrs. Obama. So Obama Portraits Tour. And again, people can get information and get tickets in advance on our website for all these exhibitions.
Yeah, and just a plug, my wife and I are members of the museum, and it really doesn't cost a whole lot, and it's certainly worth the minimal cost because you get into the events, you get special tickets and discounted parking, which is a big deal because they have great covered parking nowadays. Marian Luntz, she is with the Museum of Fine Arts Houston film curator. Thanks for being here on this Film Friday.
My pleasure. It's great to see you and be with you, and hope to see you at the movies again soon.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Okay. We're going to kick things off talking about our programs here at HCC. We're going from the museum to Coleman College of Health Sciences. Frank, take it away. We're going to talk about the medical tech program.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Karlien Tebbetts, medical laboratory technician, program director of HCC Coleman College for Health Sciences. Karlien, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, Frank. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Well, welcome to the show. We're looking forward to getting to know you and more about your program.
Well, thank you. I love sharing about my program.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Awesome. So I see that you are going to tell us what makes these medical laboratory technician jobs fun for our students. But let's first talk about some more serious business. There's a shortage in the field of these positions. Can you tell us more about these positions?
There is a huge shortage. So back in the day, the program in itself is very expensive. People don't realize how expensive the lab portion of the hospital is. It is actually a financial loss for hospitals because every patient gets their own everything. And so back in the day, not many people were interested in the field anymore because there was a rumor that it was going to become fully automated. And so now we have a bunch of baby boomers who are retiring, and there's nobody to fill these positions. Not only that, but with COVID, everything that happened with COVID, everybody has realized that the lab actually needs more people. And it's opened the hospital's eyes to how necessary the lab is and how desperate they are to fill all these positions.
Karlien, what is the pay like for these positions for graduates?
So for a 2-year degree, on average, it's about $25 an hour. That does not include all the benefits that hospitals offer. There's the shift differential, there's bonuses, and I mean, places like MD Anderson or even Texas Children's, if you work holiday, it's double time and a half.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I need to reassess my life choices and with extra money.
Right. It sounds like, ooh, rolling.
Right. Can you give us an idea of the HCC success rate once they get into the program?
Our students work very hard. I'm very proud of our students. They earn their degree. Our students are actually also in demand in the field. We have 100% success rate on the board exam, and all of our students are hired upon graduation. The hospitals, because there's also a 4-year bachelor's degree, the hospitals are so desperate to have HCC, in particular, HCC students, that they will change the job requirement from 4-year to 2-year just to hire our students.
I think it's very awesome that HCC, especially Coleman, has developed this prestige and reputation that, you know, we have the support of the different medical programs across, you know, Houston Metroplex, especially the medical center. I think that's great.
Oh, yeah. No, and we're the only junior college that is actually in a medical center surrounded by hospitals. That's a pretty amazing big deal.
That's a very big deal. Karlien, what are the different areas of the lab?
So the lab is actually divided into different areas so that all the patient samples can be run successfully, because there's such a huge volume in Houston. I mean, about 7 million people come into Houston for medical treatment daily. There's blood bank or immunohematology. That is your blood compatibility. For lack of, just to keep it simple, your blood type A, O, or B, or AB. It becomes way more complicated than that. There's hematology, which is red blood cells, white blood cells, and the different diseases of just the blood. We have urinalysis and body fluids, microbiology, chemistry, immunology, parasitology, and mycology. All these different areas all belong to the lab, and people just know that as the lab. But it makes the field so varied, and there's just so many things that every day you can be in a different area doing different things, and it keeps your life exciting. It gives you variety, and you never see the same thing twice.
Karlien, with COVID over the last couple of years, how has Coleman and the classes navigated through? I know there were times where people couldn't come to class face to face and doing close contact. How have they been able to navigate through all of that?
That was a challenge. The first semester after that spring break, when everything shut down, was one of the biggest challenges our program ever encountered, especially since there's not many medical lab schools out there. So there weren't many software options for students or for educators to utilize. And once COVID hit, the labs realized, oh, wow, we need alternative techniques and methods to teach our students. And that's when all the software came out on the market. And our students we still subscribe to that software because we use that along with in lab hands-on training. So it's COVID not a fan of it, but good did come from it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And finally, Karlien, what makes this job so fun?
I absolutely love my job. I love seeing the passion people develop, the excitement for the subjects that I care about. You learn to love chemistry. You learn to love micro. You learn to respect the human body. You learn how beautiful of a machine it is, how it works to keep you alive. And you make a difference. You make a difference even though nobody knows you're back there. Typically, the lab is in the basement. Nobody knows where it is. If you go to the hospital and ask, where's the lab? Most often it takes a while for people to figure out where it is. But lab people love their job because we're a family. Once you go into the field, everybody's a family and everybody starts knowing each other, and everybody, even as diverse as all the people are, we support each other.
Thank you so much, Ms. Karlien Tebbetts, Medical Laboratory Technician Program Director of HCC Coleman College for Health Sciences. We'll have your info in our post right after the show. Thank you again so much for your time.
Thank you, Frank.
All right, Karlien and Frank, thanks. They got some great things going on at Coleman College of Health Sciences. If you're interested in the program, we'll have a link in our social media post right after the show. Okay, a few announcements to get to. Of course, it's International Women's Day. That is this month, the month itself. Join HCC's Faculty Senate in partnership with the Houston chapter of the United Nations Association for a special event for International Women's Day, which celebrates women's achievements, raises awareness against bias, and serves as a call of action for equality, I should say. 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. That's Tuesday, March the 8th. Next Tuesday, it's at HCC's Northwest A-Leaf Hayes Atrium. For more information, we'll put a link in our social media post. And there is a celebration happening at the West Loop, Frank.
Dr. Lena Zarnow will discuss Representative Bella Abzug for the 1970s, who pushed for the LGBT rights, universal childcare, and green energy, leading her peers through polarizing times that feel familiar to our own. That will be Tuesday, March 8th at 3:30 p.m. HCC West Loop, room C108. For more info, please contact Lauren.Kerle, KERRHERALY at hccs.edu.
Yeah, and we'll put that email address in our social media post. Okay, saves you money. You know the phrase. You know Mattress Mack. He's a Houston icon, does a lot of great for this community. Well, he's teamed up with HCC. That's right. He's doing the HCC's Northwest Center for Entrepreneurship is presenting Mattress Mack's School of Selling with free virtual sessions. Next up, 10 a.m. to noon, Tuesday, March the 8th, the ability to say no. And also 10 a.m. to noon, Thursday, March the 10th, building a book of business. We'll have a link for those in our social media post. Free money is back with HEERF, Frank. You can get some extra funding to pay for college.
Only students who did not receive HEERF funds through round 1 for the spring 2022 semester will be eligible to request for round 2. Eligible students can visit the website link in our post after the show for more info.
Okay, I want to skip on down to spring registration because your time for registering for the spring to get some classes in before the spring semester's over is moving quickly away. You can still do so after spring break is when the classes start. So it means you need to register now. We've got 5 ways of learning, some of them completely online, some hybrid and in-person classes on our campuses. Classes are very small. You need to sign up early to get the class you want, the instructor you want, the location, the time, all those things are up for grabs. If you're looking to sign up for the fall, keep in mind, fall registration will begin next month and summer registration will begin very shortly. Plus the mini semesters, they're very popular, 3 hours in like a span of 3 weeks. Well, those fill up fast. You can sign up for those, I believe, starting March the 7th. All the information, go to hccs.edu/apply for all your registration needs. Okay, Frank, sports talk. Houston Cougars, first off, congratulations to them. They cut the nets down another time. I think it's like the 3rd time in 4 years. They are AAC champs in the regular season. The tournament's coming up, and they're doing pretty good right now. They lost a couple in a row, but they seem to be back on track right now.
Yeah, I mean, this team, what can I say hasn't been said before? This team, they do a great job of bouncing back. They're deep. They're very athletic up front. They can shoot the ball. They play great defense, 90 feet. They're going to be a real problem for teams in the NCAA tournament come March, only because their players are so versatile. They can play so many positions in this positionless basketball era that we're playing there right now. They're going to be a tough out. For sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a great tournament. So congratulations to the Cougs. Good luck in the AAC tournament. No matter what team you're playing, that's a tough tournament. It really is. So they've got a heavy task winning the AAC tournament, which is coming up in, I believe, a week or so. All right, Frank, the Astros, Major Baseball, it ain't happening right now.
No, the MLB commissioner this past, I think, Wednesday, he went ahead and canceled two regular season series beginning of this year. Right now, they start a stalemate right now with the Major League Baseball Players Association right now. So many issues they have to work through. I don't know who's going to break first. We saw like a glimpse of this 2 years ago during the COVID year of the players union fighting back, and it's one of those things where if you're the owners, you're losing money every series that your baseball players are not playing on the field. Ticket sales, merchandise, it's very, very important to get this out of the way and break a deal soon.
Yeah, and so we'll just see how it happens. It's certainly not looking good. They'll figure it out as soon as the paychecks start dwindling or passing them up. Let's talk a little bit of football. Are you liking what you're seeing with Lovie Smith and the Texans?
This week is Combine week, so everybody's in Indiana right now checking out all the collegiate talent coming out. I think it's fair to give them a fair shake and see how this draft, how the draft comes up and shapes up, and then going was Vontae workouts in May and then training camp in July. He's a great coach. The Bears fired him when he was 9-7,
and he made it to like the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman as quarterback. Rex Grossman.
People forget that, and he was let go in Tampa when they had a winning season for the OC there. And, it's just, he's had a bad shake over the last few years, man, but he's a great coach. His teammates love him. His players love him. I think it's fair. Now, in the grand scheme of things, I don't know, Levy's in his late 60s, so I don't know how much longer he's going to coach. So, that's to me, that was kind of a weird move there. Normally we're
no weirder than bringing in David Culley for a year, though. Come on now. Lovie Smith has a background. He was a head coach. He had a winning record.
For sure.
David Culley wasn't even I don't think he was even a positions coach.
That was the Texas saying, "Hey, thank you for your service. You was such and such special teams guy, and
here's $20 million for 1 year of work."
Exactly. So, hey, I'll take that retirement plan any day of the week.
Oh yeah. He walked away with a great deal. Nice guy. He could really chew gum though. He was great at chewing gum. If you ever watched some of the sidelines, man, that guy could chew gum.
Oh my God.
Legendary in that field. So we'll have to see what happens with the Texans though. But anything else on your sports radar? Because we're about to wrap up, but anything else you want to throw out there?
I think the Rockets have a star in the making with Jalen Green. This is a bad season for the Rockets. Don't get me wrong. But I watched a handful of Rockets games this year. This team can score points. They can't stop anybody because they're so young, but they can score points. And I'm hoping the head coach gets another shot, another year under his belt for next year, because this is a young team with a very bright future with Jay Sean Tate, Jalen Green, and those guys. So,
Frank, always good talking to you on Fridays, a little bit of sports. Folks, thanks for being here. We're about to wrap things up, but we want to tell you on Monday, we got Dr. Antrice Baget returning to talk to us about the Faculty Senate this year. And also Dr. Sean Fitzpatrick returns for Mental Health Monday. All that and more. Frank will be back next week. I'll be back on Monday. We'll see you Monday morning. Have a great weekend.